Even the most dedicated hustlers, grinders, entrepreneurs, owners, success seekers, etc., sometimes have a bad day. I mean, a really bad day, something worth stopping, going home early and just staying there with your family, with friends that are people close to you. Don't lose your humanity in your pursuit of success. It's Saturday. We're in the office. This is the Saturday Morning Hustle Podcast, hustling and grinding on the weekends, coming in early, staying late, doing that little bit extra, finding that extra work in order to be great. And today we're going to take a little bit different approach to the hustle, to the grind. We've talked about this a little bit before. I've given you permission to take pauses, to take breaks. But today we're going deeper and much more into the human condition, if you will, a much more in-depth conversation about what happens when you have a really bad day in your life. Something happens that shakes you, that takes you completely out of your element. It happens to everyone, hopefully not very often, because I'm talking about something big, something impactful that happens in your life, not just business, but mostly your personal life. When there's something else that is absolutely keeping you from not just doing your best work, but really any productive work, you're better off and in the long run, been more beneficial to take that time off, to call it a day and go home, to seek refuge of people that you care about and care about you, to connect with a mentor, or simply just to turn your brain off, rest your body, rest your emotions, rest your soul, etc. We put so much into being entrepreneurs, about pursuing success, about what it is we're trying to do. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a hustler, you're a grinder, you're someone trying to really build something, you're trying to make something great of yourself. You're pursuing success. That's why we love it when we talk about it on the podcast. But you have to remember the reason that we're trying to build success. It's not our business life. Success in our business life, success in the things we build around us, our career, opportunities, money, all those things that come along with it are the side effects of being successful, of being great, at being the best at what we do. But none of that matters if you lose sight of all of the other things in your life outside of work, outside of your pursuit of success, all the reasons that we do it, our family, our friends, our community, the people that we want to help, the people that we want to bring along with us, the people that are helping us, all of those people and us as human beings are super important to the center of this conversation. If you lose that center, what are you doing this for? What's the effort? What's the hustle and grind? What's the hours worth if you don't have family, if you don't have friends, if you don't have people, human beings, even your pets, all of these other aspects of your life that are important to you? You have to balance these things. I'm not talking about work-life balance. I'm talking about when something is big enough, when you lose someone important in your life, when something has great impact on you. Some people like to go to stay busy and do some work, but more likely you need to take time. It could be an hour, it could be a day, it could be a week. It depends on the impact of what happened in your life. Obviously, losing a family member would have great impact. Losing a best friend or your pet would have great impact. Losing someone who you knew casually will have some impact. Losing a huge business deal, an opportunity that you thought was going to be your golden ticket, will have impact on you. It sounds great to get back up on the horse. It sounds great to keep busy and occupy yourself with something constructive so that you can move forward. But at the end of the day, the reality is sometimes you have to take that step back. You have to stop thinking about business, stop thinking about your pursuits, and just be in the moment, even if that moment is negative, even if that moment is hurtful, because that's what being a human being is. And it's the counterbalance. This is the argument that I would make to anyone who thinks that hustle culture and hustle and grind and doing all this extra work is the wrong approach. It's the right approach if you have these pursuits, if you're trying to be successful, if you're really trying to get to that next level. And it is worth it if you can and are able and willing to take the time to stop, to recenter yourself when something more tangible and impactful in your life happens. There are great things that you need to take time out for the birth of children, for weddings, for anniversaries, for seeing your family, for visiting with someone you haven't gotten a chance to meet with in a long time, to doing things with friends and people that are important to you, to spending time with your mentors, with mentoring other people and spending time with them. And in all those situations, you need to give 100% of yourself to that, because that is being a human being. And then be able to flip the switch and come back to work, come back to the hustle, to the grind. You can't confuse the two, and you can't replace highly impactful human events with work, with hustle and grind. You can do both, but you need to experience both in the right way. You know, you often hear about the cycles of grief, right? You start off with shock and dismay, and you become sad, and then you become angry, and then you negotiate. You typically negotiate with God or the universe, or however you want to do it, before you get into any sort of acceptance phase. And that takes quite a long time before you're in any kind of phase of moving on. Not that you ever forget the impact of what was lost, but you do have to continue your life, right? It's not simple. It's that those 4 to 5, 6 phases don't happen in a minute, in a day, in an hour. They happen over time. You need to be able to put yourself in that process. If it's a highly negative event that is impacting you on a personal level, on a human level, as much as it hurts and much as it's painful and as much as you don't want to, you need to experience it fully with focus and with intent so that you can begin the process of healing, so that you can work your way through becoming better on the other side of what reality is, because this thing has happened in your life. If it's hugely impactful in a positive way, again, a birth of a child, a wedding, an anniversary, seeing an old friend, seeing family members, great success that has come your way. You know what you put into getting you there. You need to be present in that moment to appreciate it, to get the benefit from it, really charge your battery from it, and move forward from it a better person, a more fulfilled person, a person who understands all that effort you're putting in, all those hours you're putting in, how it pays off. And again, it's not money. It's not things. It's not success. Those are the side effects of us getting to follow our passions, to do what we want to do, but not losing our humanity, not losing ourselves in the process, because that defeats the purpose. So be successful, pursue success, hustle, grind, find times to do more work, to do a little bit extra, to take yourself a little deeper. You know, I want you to do that. That's why we have the Saturday Morning Hustle. That's why we have these conversations each and every Saturday. This is why I post as much, why I share with you, that's why I ask you for input. That's why I ask you to share. That's what we're all trying to promote each other to do, to help each other to do. That is all good to a point. At some point, there are other aspects of your life that are just as important or more important in that pursuit of success. Make sure you don't miss those things or lose those things. Make sure that you get to embrace the positive and experience the negative, because the negative will help you heal, will help you move forward, will affect who you are as a person the next day and the day after that and the rest of your life. Just how things go. It's part of life. We don't want to have negatives, but we have them. So take your positives and relish in them and recharge your battery from it and feel the positivity of it and use it to move yourself forward and to help others and to create success around you, and to remember why you're doing this. And remember the side effects, the things that come with it will show up. If you're worried about cash, if you're worried about opportunity, if you're worried about climbing the ladder, those things will happen if you pursue success in the right way, diligently, consistently, with patience, but with action. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about this on the podcast so many times before. I don't feel like I have to tell you again. And this is the first time you're hearing this podcast. Thank you for listening. But there are over 300 other episodes which can tell you those tactical execution on how to get from point A to point B when you're pursuing success. Today, I want you to think about what's important outside of that pursuit of success. The people, the personalities, the situations, the comfort, all of the things that you look for in an emotional or personal way. All those things that are real and tangible and are going to be with you forever and is going to be a part of you, who you are as a person forever. Your family, your friends, people that are important to you, your community, doing good in the world, making a better place. All of that is what's truly important. Focus on that. Sometimes that comes with negatives. You can't appreciate people, you can't love people, you can't have relationships if without the potential for something bad to happen. You can't have any reward without risk. And every relationship is a risk because all of us someday will leave this planet. Maybe tomorrow, maybe 100 years from now. But that's part of it too. That's part of being a human, is taking the risk of appreciating someone, of opening yourself up to them, of having a relationship with them, and it may not always be a part of your life. When they leave you, when you don't have them around anymore, it's because they have moved across the country or because they've gone on to a better place. You have to go through the process of mourning. You have to go through the steps, and you have to come out of that process a different person than you had going in. If they were important to you, if they had impact in your life, if they made your life better, you'll be a better person after going through this hard part. But don't shortcut yourself. Don't shortcut the people in your life. Don't shortcut your relationships by trying to avoid the potential pain and the negativity and the steps you have to go through if things go wrong. You can't have great things if you don't put yourself out there. If you don't expose your heart and your mind and your time and your talent and your emotions to others, you can't receive back from them. So be open to receiving, be open to giving, remember what's important, be present in the process. Absolutely easy to do when the process is positive. It's very hard to do when the process is negative, but it's essential for you as a human being to make your way through that, to come out the other side a different person and take the best aspects of anything you've lost, all the good memories, all the good information, all of the moments where that it was good for you, that it was positive, that it benefited you, that made you go on with yourself and on with your life. Take all of that good and remember it and hold on to it and continue on as a different person, having had the experience instead of avoiding the experience. That's the key. So please take that with you today. In order to have great things in your life, you have to be understanding there can be some negatives in your life. When things are great, embrace that. Remember that the other stuff comes along with it as a side effect of good work, of good ethics, of good cooperation, of good relationships, of doing things in the right way. When things are bad, when things are negative, when you get kicked in the behind by life, take some time. Take yourself away from the hustle. Don't think about things of that nature. Focus on what's important. Focus on yourself. Go to your center. Remember the good things. Understand the negative things will come about. Begin your process of healing. Work through that process. And then take the best and the good and all of the memories and all of the examples of growth for yourself from what you're mourning and what you're processing, and use that to make yourself a better person on the other side of that big impact event. Thank you guys so much for listening each and every week to the Saturday Morning Hustle podcast. I appreciate you guys so much. That's why it's so important for me to share sometimes emotional conversations like this, along with the hustle, the grind, the business information, the tactical information, the how, the why, the where, etc. So I hope you guys found great info in this conversation today. Hit me up on social media. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to talk about next week on the Saturday Morning Hustle. If it's Saturday, we are in the office hustling and grinding, trying to find that extra bonus time to do just a little bit more in our pursuit of greatness. Hit up the SaturdayMorningHustle.com website. Get your swag from Saturday Morning Hustle, Entrepreneur AF, Coffee and Donuts, etc. New stuff coming soon. We're working on some designs. Every past episode, all 300 plus of them are also listed there. Every platform for listening to the podcast, how to find the videos on YouTube. Everything is there. The Balance series is on the podcast as well. All of it is at SaturdayMorningHustle.com. See you next week.